What they did was set up a network system so that they could be everywhere without having to go anywhere. And they combined it electronically and physically so that both in the physical and non-physical, you have this kind of tether. So essentially it amounts to everybody being trapped together at the same time without realizing it, with certain demographics of people being allowed the freedom to move about in the trap in ways that other people in the trap can't. They had a game called Mousetrap long ago that was kind of similar to what I'm describing, to kind of illustrate what that would be like. It's like a public gridlock, because everything is really driven by the information, your life information, and the things that you're associated with, the things that affect you culturally, that give you freedom and natural right to be a human being. So they infringed upon that to kind of gridlock everything that makes you human, to kill your nature, to kill your spirit. And when you're given something, for example, the press might run a really big story on you, but they're giving you something to be able to take something away. For example, I should say in some instances, they're giving you something to take something away. They can give you widespread attention, show 1 million people your image and something that you did well. And then they can have 500,000 people waiting on deck with something bad to say about you, and to justify that their opinion or their comment is valid, they'll wait until they say, well, we were only commenting based upon what the news told us about this person. So what happens if the people that are in the press and the people that are these bystanders, these third-party people with this fake news and all of this kind of stuff, are all providing misinformation, and nobody ends up knowing what to believe, but the false information is something that can be used adversely against someone? And so to me, in my eyes, based upon what I know about the technology, based upon what I know about human life and living without the technology, if they're not talking about finances with it, if they're not talking about economic security, if you're not getting anything for it, it's all futile. See, some people are willing to do extraordinary things just for the attention. Just because 1 million people look at you doesn't mean 1 million people are contributing to you. And so you've got to get to the pocket of people who understand what's going on and who are going to do something about it to help you reserve your keep. Otherwise, you're just going to be a token used to show people what can happen as a result of the misuse of mass dissemination of information. You're going to show people how they can ruin your life, how they can ruin your reputation, how they can slander, defame, and libel you because of information. And something that you could have worked your whole life on can be destroyed in an instant by one mischievous person who starts something that becomes a chain reaction through a network of false information to the point where nobody knows what to believe and nobody cares about what the truth is anymore. And that's why it's so dangerous. And that's why the people that are infiltrating everybody, hacking and providing this misinformation has to be prosecuted to the fullest extent. And to secure that, you need to make sure that you account for some of your own evidence. Because if you're counting on a third party to come in and do that for you, they're going to get the facts lost, and then you're going to end up in a situation where your own information is compromised to the degree that people kill its validity. That's what's wrong with invasion of privacy. That's what's wrong with letting too many people into parts of your life that nobody's really supposed to be in, because you have nothing to protect or defend yourself. See, if you haven't let people into certain places in your life in the first place, then you know you had to have been violated for them to be there. But if you're just going to be a person that's just opening up your whole world to everybody, you don't have anything to defend, and therefore you don't have anything to protect. And so you see all of these people surviving off of other people's lives and other people's information, and what I have described to you is the reason why they have been able to do so. So what happens when people realize somebody is taking gain and profit off of something that's supposed to actually go to them? And so when you're talking about what culture means and is defined by for each generation and each era, It's about what those people contribute to their society and what they get for it. If you have a system set up in governance, politics, higher education, institutions, organizations, and corporations, as well as the church system, to steal people's future, so that when you think you're working for advancement, they're already sitting out there in front of you to either block you or be able to take from you, what does that tell you? That means that somebody stole something before you had a chance to even get going. And what if you find out it's the people you entrusted most? Your professor, your college, your employer, your parents, your wife, your husband, your lover, your relatives, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, or something like that. Because who else would have access to information that you are not providing? Your friends, your coaches, your teammates. See, when you fill out an application, they're saying they're checking on your background. And they are. But they're also collecting your background information for historic purposes. Just because they take the information from you doesn't mean they won't use your information against you. They can find out things about your history that nobody really needs to know about or should be in. And so if we don't have any laws that tell them they have to protect people and their information if they provide it for them, people can take your information, provide your social security number, your address, your previous history, find out about your past relationships, your neighbors, your landlords, and all of this kind of stuff. And all of it could end up being false or misinformation on the basis they exploited something that they used as criteria to let you in to steal your background from you and therefore steal your future. If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're at. And if you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're going. God bless you. Now think about what a network system means. When organizations, institutions, corporations, schools, businesses, employers, people in the bank system, people in the judicial system, people in the executive branch, people in the legislative branch, the law enforcement authority, the church system, and all these other systems link up through a network simultaneously against someone. See how they can use the overwhelming strength in numbers to literally destroy somebody? If they don't have any defense, or if they are so vulnerable, they let people into a place where something like that is possible. Because most people don't regulate their own life information. And if you don't regulate your life information, somebody else is regulating your life information. What I'm describing to you is how people can manufacture a lie. They can manufacture a crime. They can manufacture murder. They can manufacture slander. Somebody can call you an awful name, say you're a child molester or rapist or anything. And think about what can happen if all of those networks that I have described to you simultaneously are connected, associated with that lie. And what do you have to do to defend yourself against those who contributed to the mass dissemination? And then you get these rumors, this gossip, this hearsay, and this innuendo associated with people who claim they have a right to their opinion. But you don't have a right to an opinion that harms somebody based upon false information, because your opinion is supposed to be based upon something. And if you based your information of how you harmed somebody on what somebody told you, you're liable for that. Because if you don't base your opinion on something factual, you are entitled to be held accountable for your opinion. And if your opinion injures somebody, that can be problematic. Yes, you have a right to not believe something. Yes, you have a right to disagree with something. But you don't have a right to hide something that you intend to use to harm somebody behind an opinion. And that's what a lot of people have been doing, particularly in journalism. They want to get back at somebody. So they just say, well, hey, this is my opinion. This is what I want to do to you, and I'm going to make it look like my opinion instead of an attack. If you provide false information against somebody and try to hide it behind an opinion, you're liable for that. And the Supreme Court will back that.